received the minutes through the email of the previous meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll hear a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. They distributed the proof of publication and the list of those that were notified of the meeting. I'd like to make that a matter of record, the proof of publication and the listing.
Second on it, and then we'll be done.
Do I hear a motion to make that a matter of record?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Yeah, we've already did it. It'll end up going to Baker.
Okay, the petition before us this afternoon is Fleetwood RV requesting site plan review for a proposed recreational vehicle parking facility to be located at 1410 Patterson Street, Decatur, Indiana, 46733. And we will ask the applicant to make the presentation.
You want me in front of the mic or on the back podium? Go ahead and use the mic. You'll just have to turn it on. That's the red button on the back there when you see the light go on. Trying something a little different.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, it's on. Brett Miller, MLS Engineering, here to represent ARG. I've got Dennis and Steve from ARG too if you have any questions for them, but I'll give my technical presentation here. So I basically handed out basically a marketing colored that the architect put together what they're proposing, and then 11 by 17 of a site plan that I have done. So basically, to summarize, what they're doing is a two-story building, roughly about 8,000 square feet. With this is basically for their service department, for people that are coming into town, for them to be able to have a nice place to be. And basically, this whole project is basically for them, making this gravel parking lot that's been there for a long time, making it really nice and a nice experience for them. So right now, currently in the gravel parking, they can have up to about 61 RVs there. We're changing that and reducing that down to 47 with this layout, basically adding green space and some nice drive lanes and stuff like that. So that's the reduction from the 61 to the 47. Conversations with Nate and Roger early on in this process was just trying to go along with the city's sidewalk ordinance. We're showing a sidewalk along 27 that basically starts at the, actually there's an existing sidewalk that goes along to the corner of Patterson. So we're going to connect there, go west along the north side of Patterson, cross our drive, and then kind of tie up into this new building. You can kind of see it on there. It's kind of pointed with little twos and circles is kind of pointing to that sidewalk. So basically we'll connect this building back out to the highway if they want to walk up and down, or gives them access, which I think Nate and Roger, that was basically added to their, per their review initially. Correct. And that limits it to the scope of the project you're actually doing. We're not asking to go beyond that limit. So it seemed like a reasonable compromise. And then the another thing is there's an existing fence along the railroad that's in poor shape, and then trying to keep basically create a nice quiet environment for these owners is doing a new fence along the railroad and along 27, basically just in a north-south foot. And then it's also going to do kind of a 45 there at the corner, basically a privacy, kind of a shadow box type fence. Right now they're thinking wood, but something like that just to kind of hopefully make it kind of an enclosed type feel for them.
How tall would that be?
I think we're showing a 6 foot.
Okay.
And then at the road, that's going to be, basically that 6 foot is going to be kind of a road height, and then they're going to be doing kind of a retaining wall because that, as everybody drives by, that parking lot sits way down low. So my concern originally was, we're going to do this privacy fence down low, it's not going to do any good. So basically, we're doing a fence kind of at road height. There's going to be kind of a wall. That parking lot's going to be basically the same level it's at, but hopefully that fence will give it so people aren't seeing in there very easily.
Okay.
And then basically, on the drawing that I showed you, the white areas is going to be grass. So give the owners a place that they can put a lawn chair out, or just, recreation type space, walk their dogs or whatever. As far as storm drainage, there is, since it's a gravel lot, and basically talking with Nate and city ordinance, since we're not really increasing the runoff, no underground detention or any type of additional detention was needed for the site. We are upgrading the storm sewer just because of our new layout, and just since the area's getting redone, we're going to make it nice for the future. So,
same pipe discharge size. There are more inlets, but essentially you're reducing the hard surface on this. So.
Yeah, because of the extra grass that's not there today. So, basically, I think everybody will agree that this is going to be look a lot nicer than it does today. And basically, with these extra earth moving, we did an erosion control application, which Nate's reviewed and approved. And so basically, this is something that they're going to get constructed right away this fall yet, and based on your guys' approval tonight. So I can answer any questions, or Dennis or Steve behind me can.
Yeah, I was impressed when I saw it on TV announced, and even more impressed when I see these pictures. Are there any questions from any of the board members from the applicant? Any questions? No questions, okay.
I do have one question, that is on the site lighting. You talked about it, that Cal would be doing your photometric plan. Is that something she'll have prior to construction? And I guess the recommendation I would have going forward would be to make that a condition of the approval, conditional approval from the T. We don't specify the photometrics, essentially, so it's light levels too much or overspray. Usually we have cutoffs in residential areas, but so that we have documentation, it gives us something to defend when someone complains.
We're going to try to do the dark skies.
Okay. Okay, so that would be something where you'd have it during kind of operating hours, and then at night, late at night, you'd be having it off.
Everything will be down. There won't be any. We're trying to keep it reflecting.
Okay.
And I guess to answer your question, I guess as far as timing, we will, or I'll have Hal provide those before anything would be installed electrical-wise.
Okay.
But they would like to move forward before that is complete. Hal's in the process of doing that plan put together. But I would like it not to hold up construction. Can we?
How would we word that? Would just be restriction on a specific element of the plan? I'm not sure if Tim's able to hear all that or not.
Yeah.
Tim, you still there?
Yeah, if I understand what you're asking, Nate, is that there is something that you had discussed with Brett previously with regard to the electrical installation and how that is to be done, or when it's to be done. Is that correct?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. And your concern is that if this is, are you talking about this being preliminary and final site plan approval?
Yes.
Okay, so your concern is that you want plans submitted with regard to the electrical installation, and that would be a condition to the granting of final site plan approval?
That was my hope, my intent. But if that may delay construction, looking at their schedules they're proposing. So is there a mechanism for us to approve and start earthwork on the general development plan, and then a condition regarding the electrical improvements or the site lighting improvements?
is the concern that you want to start moving earth as soon as possible and not hold this up until the electrical plan is submitted?
Yes, they're...
I believe that's the correct summary.
Okay. Well, then I would just add a condition to the approval that the plans are approved, subject to submission of the electrical plans, and that work is not to be commenced until those plans have been reviewed and approved by the city engineer or whoever you direct.
So,
Okay.
and if those weren't to be submitted, or if lighting were to be done, then obviously an occupancy permit would be withheld from Roger's office moving forward. So that would essentially be...
Yeah, and Brett, I guess my question to you is that going to create an issue from a construction standpoint?
No, I mean, if I'm hearing right, I mean, they can move forward, just not the electrical part till approved.
Right.
So, I mean...
If that's what, Nate, your concern is, because it's not developed at this point...
Right, the design's not done...
We would go ahead and grant the approval, subject to submission of that and then approval of that before the work is commenced for that aspect of the project.
He's
Yes.
shaking his head yes.
You can't hear my head shaking.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I would just put that condition in the approval.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions at this point from the board? Then I will ask if there are any comments from people in opposition. Seeing none. Are there any comments from people in favor? Seeing none. Okay, then the board has final questions? Comments from the applicant? Do I hear a motion?
I move that we consider this to be final site plan approval with the caveat regarding the lighting plan.
Is there a second to the motion?
A second.
Any further discussion? I'll call for the question then. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We thank you, and you can go ahead, and I think it's a great addition to Decatur. We appreciate it. We appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Brett, just a question for you about the evolution of the process of working through with the city engineer and the building department before we get to this stage. Did that alleviate some of the last-minute surprises?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Good.
it's smooth.
Good. Thank
Yeah,
you,
I mean,
that was our hope.
just like the sidewalks would have got brought up tonight versus a month ago.
Yeah.
I mean, just those type
Yeah.
things, it's worked out well.
Well, and we can do about the lighting issue that we're talking
Just this-
about. That was simply, we just need to make sure we had the wording appropriate for this, so.
Okay, we want to continue to
I
make this
appreciate,
user-friendly.
yep, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, under items of old business or discussion, Lake Shores 8. I see a letter from you, Nate, regarding that. Do we need Tim any longer, or?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
I think what we're, and I'll speak on behalf of Brett here a little bit. What we have before us is Gene Dreyer is asking to submit and finalize the plat for Lake Shore Section 8. Comes to, I've received an email from Brett asking that Gene has asked to modify some of the building setbacks on a number of the lots, going actually from 8 foot to 10 foot, which actually is the current ordinance. And then there were 2 lots, I think 87 and 94, which are shown with 30-foot rear setbacks, which were more generous. So they'd like to correct that.
Yeah, is that all right if I...
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I don't remember the exact reason why we had the 30 foot at the beginning, if it was something Gene had told me originally, or, so it doesn't matter at this point. So, but that's what everybody has seen. So that's why...
That's the
Gene
plan
came
was
in.
approved, so that's what we
Right,
need to...
Gene came in last week, said, hey, I'm going to California again, I want to get this signed
Get it
before I
done.
leave, and it was one of those things that he wasn't bugging me, so I forgot about it. So basically, sorry. Need a PowerPoint there.
Maybe.
One day, we'll get there.
Yeah, I can think of that.
So, just like Nate had mentioned, I had shown 8-foot side yard setbacks, and we moved those to 10. That actually helps everybody, in my opinion, just getting it off the property line more. So that's all of these 10 sides were 8 on the last approved plan. And for some reason, this line here and this, on what was approved, was at 30. And it wasn't, a lot of these, and what Gene, a lot of these guys sometimes want to put their house on a 45, on a corner lot, maybe, and that wasn't going to be possible with the large rear setback. And
I think the concern was that those corner lots that we wanted them to face, or at least the drives to access off of East Lake Court, that may have been why that was set at 30. Maybe that's what triggered it, is we were treating that as a rear setback. But
To move the curb cut off the main street?
we didn't want the curb cut off of East Monroe Street.
Okay.
Those two corner lots, one of the conditions was their curb cuts were off of East Lake Court and not off of East Monroe Street, which that may be an issue as far as what that triggers it as a rear setback because of how that house is facing. But that wasn't even a rear setback's not 30, it's
I guess what my opinion would be that we're proposing,
okay.
Not to exceed 40 feet.
Okay.
I guess what I would suggest is I want to, these setbacks approved as is, regardless of which way the house is facing. That way, if this is going to be on the plat as a setback,
Yeah.
we don't want to waffle
And
that these are the setbacks,
Yeah.
regardless of if the guy sets his house here with the side load or whatever.
Yeah. So,
So if he does set it at an angle, is he going to be back before the BZA wanting to encroach upon it?
No, not at this one.
not with these.
Not
If
with
we
these.
did the 30, then
This would be fixed.
Okay.
If it was at 30, then yeah, I'm afraid
he's gonna
I got the buyers. So that's where
So changing the 30s to 20s?
the 10s,
to 10.
And that's just on either
just
side?
these two,
Just
these two lots.
So, the same 10 from here. Okay. That seems logical.
So, and we're not actually signing this tonight, we would just give
Correct.
him the go-ahead to make the revisions, and then Gene would sign as the developer, and then this would come back before Plan Commission for signatures, essentially. It wouldn't even take an approval from us at that point. So,
Which I think was done last year based on
this is what we-
making these other items, the stuff that we submitted to you last
Correct.
year or whatever.
From
So it's just,
stormwater changes or records, so we have some documentation. This was essentially one of the last projects under the old ordinance, so now we're just kind of signing it off under the current
so-
ordinance now.
So do we need a motion then to go ahead, to tell him to go ahead and make the changes, right?
Plan Commission is accepting the...
Yeah,
yeah, 'cause what is, I revised this today with the hope that you guys would approve it as,
Okay.
that way that way you can see it.
Okay.
So the only, which I think that's all the other signing items we can work out outside of
Yeah.
approval.
Yes, we just would need to get the president and secretary of the Plan
That
Commission.
is the only catch with those side yard setbacks like that. It doesn't have a rear setback, then you're saying,
Not really, no.
not really, yeah, so that's, that is, not what our ordinance says,
Yeah.
but on a corner lot like that.
So the trick will be when they come for building permits to make sure that their plot plan essentially for the house is appropriate to what's been agreed to for the development, so.
Which in my opinion will be this.
Which would be-
That's the benefit. Most plats that I do, we don't show side and rear setbacks.
You show a
We
setback.
show a front setback. It's a typical, this is nicer that everybody that pulls this drawing will say,
You buy
These
the
are my
lot,
limits.
you're gonna see this.
most of the time, Most of the time, the lots aren't this big and you don't have room. Well, I mean, it's basically the reason, but, so, this will make it black and white when they come up to Roger and pull their permit. Roger's gonna see 10, 10, 30, 30. And as long as it fits inside that box, Roger should be good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are you
logical.
comfortable with that, Roger, going when?
Yeah, I get it, that, I mean, you guys are basically granting a variance for that rear yard setback.
Yeah, it's just a terminology variance,
Yeah,
basically.
that's all it is, yeah. As long as it's indicated like that,
Yeah, it's well documented.
So I think there's been times when those things aren't shown, that the house winds up within a foot of the property line or something. Yeah, it's about right here.
A lot of times, I mean, what happens now is someone will call me and say, we want to do a garage addition, what's the side yard setback? Is it 8 or is it 10 or is it, did they get a variance to 6 or something like that, where this is way easier and nicer for that they're not bugging your office.
And I don't foresee them, like you said, with the size of those lots,
They've got a lot of flexibility.
yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Looks good.
Okay, do we have a motion then to go ahead with approval of that plan?
I will make a motion as drawn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, is there any
We'll go ahead and keep this copy then.
other new business to be brought before the group? Roger, you have anything else? Not for this board, okay. Do I hear a motion? Anyone have anything else? I guess I should ask.
At the next meeting?
November the 17th for BZA.
Okay. How about plans?
Nothing specific. Okay.
Thank you.
I know there's something coming up. I would tell you if I knew, if I could remember.
Okay,
But
thanks.
hopefully there's one more at least this year. We're going to try to get it in, so.
Well, we're probably late for November, the first week of November, so you'd be the earliest it is 17.
Right, because we didn't have enough numbers present for quorum
Okay.
for
So,
BZA.
well, we'd be looking at how soon would you need to have something in for the
The
17th?
17th, get something by the end of next week.
It's the storage units on Belmont Road that Musselman owned.
Oh, okay. So
There's
he's
a
going to
possibility.
Another phase?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to try to schedule a meeting with Roger and I before the meeting so we can kind of do it?
Yeah, we're still in limbo. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if you-
I'll get with you.
Okay.
It's reduced way back from, I think, when we talked originally.
Oh, that's on Village Green Drive, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it is on Belmont.
Out by D&D.
Really? Okay. That's right. Okay.
Okay, anything else? Do I hear a motion for adjournment then? A motion been made and seconded at the same time. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Tim, I think we'll let you go and you can enjoy the rest of your vacation without us.
All right, Mark, thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I hope things went well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Okay,
Just hit that speaker, that green button.
okay. Thank you all.
That'll have real good
Need
curb
a day
appeal.
home,
What I-
yeah.